Are you ready to uncover the dark side of Toy Story? Cause I definitely am. Sure, it's a beloved franchise that has captured the hearts of millions of children worldwide, but what about the unsettling fan theories and secrets that have been lurking in the shadows? From mutants that may actually exist in real life to an evil Wheezy, there's more to this family-friendly franchise than meets the eye. I'm your host Andrew, and these are the top 10 scary Toy Story theories that will terrify you. Let's get right into this list. Coming in at a number 10 spot, we have Woody Is Evil. Toy Story is a beloved franchise that has captured the hearts of audiences of all ages. Among the colorful cast of characters that make up the world of Toy Story, Woody the Cowboy is perhaps one of the most beloved. However, a Reddit user by the name of Itchy Rabbit has put forth a fascinating theory that challenges the way we view Woody as a character. This theory proposes that Woody is not so different from Lotso, which is the evil bear from Toy Story 3, and that the only thing that saved Woody from turning evil like Lotso was the fact that he had a kid, Andy, who loved and played with him. The Reddit user argues that if Andy had brought a new Woody toy in the first movie, then Woody would have turned out just like Lotso, hurt, bitter, angry, and just wanted revenge on the world. Both Woody and Lotso are leaders who go through a lot to try to get back their respective kids, and the only thing that separates them is the fact that Woody has Andy. This theory challenges the notion that Woody is a perfect, flawless character, and points to his darker side that is hinted at in the first movie when he starts to feel like he's being replaced by the newer, shinier Buzz Lightyear toy. While everything turns out alright for Woody in the end, the Reddit user suggests that in a parallel universe, there may be a Toy Story where Woody is the evil toy that needs to be overthrown. At a number 9 spot, we have Andy's dad. If you're a fan of Toy Story, you definitely know Andy, who is the young boy who owns the beloved toys, Woody, Buzz, and the whole gang. But have you ever wondered about the absence of Andy's father? Well, there's a theory that suggests his father passed away and that his loss is what drives Andy to become so attached to his toys in the first place, particularly Woody, who, as the theory goes, was owned by his father. To give some context, Woody is a rare and valuable toy from a 50s TV show called Woody's Roundup. This is why he is stolen in the second film. But how did Andy, a 6-year-old in the first film, get his hands on such a prized possession? The theory speculates that Woody was actually owned by Andy's father, and because his father had passed away, that's why Andy had such a strong connection to him. Supporting this theory is a scene in the second Toy Story movie when Andy's mom tells the owner of Al Toys Barn that Woody is not for sale because he is a family possession. Additionally, we know that Andy's dad had polio as a kid, which can have long-term effects on baby boomers later in life. It's possible that complications from the disease could have been fatal for Andy's father, and all of Andy's father's belongings, aside from the new toys, were burnt because of polio, making Woody, Mr. Potato Head, and Slinky Dog the only possessions that survived. Interestingly, the name Andy on the bottom of Woody's foot is actually a reference to Andy's father, whose name was Andy Sr. All of these clues and details add up to the theory that Woody was owned by Andy's father and that this loss is what drives Andy's attachment to him in the first place. Coming in at our number 8 spot, we have a war. A Reddit user by the name of Space Communist has put forward a fascinating theory about the underlying theme of the movies that explains why the world in the Toy Story franchise changes so dramatically over time, and there is a potential evidence here for a war. The theory suggests that the first 2 movies are set during the space race in the 1960s. This is evident in the technology and toys that are featured in the films, such as Buzz Lightyear, who is modeled after the astronauts of the time. However, there is a significant time jump between Toy Story 2 and Toy Story 3, which takes place in a world with laptops, online gaming, and modern cars. This leap in technology seems to be too significant for just a decade to pass. The Reddit user suggests that a world war took place over the course of these movies. The technology advanced so rapidly during the war that it explains the leap we see between the movies. The proof of this theory can be seen in the maps that are featured in the movies as well. The maps seem to show the world map as very different from ours, with countries not being the same and borders being all over the place. And if you look closely, it definitely looks like a massive war took place, which would explain the significant changes in technology and the world we see in Toy Story 3. While this theory may seem far-fetched, it is not entirely impossible. After all, we are talking about a world in which toys can talk Coming in at our number 7 spot, we have Sid's abused life. Another popular theory focuses on the character of Sid, who everyone knows is the villain in the first movie. Some fans believe that Sid wasn't a bad kid at all, but rather a product of a poor home life. One reason for this is that the dangerous rocket toy that Sid is seen playing with may have been ordered by his parents, who didn't care that he was too young to play with it. Additionally, there is a scene in the movie that shows Sid's father passed out in front of the TV with Coca-Cola cans all over the floor. Interestingly, some fans believe that Sid later became a garbage man and that he did so in order to save all the forgotten toys from being incinerated at the city dump. This theory is supported by a scene in Toy Story 3 where a garbage man is seen wearing the same shirt that Sid wore as a child. You saw that photo? Fans speculate that Sid changed his ways after learning that toys could talk and that he wanted to make amends for his past behavior by instead giving love to the toys that wouldn't otherwise receive it. Coming in at our number 6 spot, we have corpses. A Twitter user by the name of Stigib3 tweeted a theory that has sent shockwaves throughout the Toy Story fandom. According to the tweet, Stigib3's daughter suggested that if one of the toys died, Andy wouldn't know and would continue to play with its corpse. The tweet went viral and sparked a conversation about the dark implications of the theory. While there may have been theories about how the toys in Toy Story came to life, the idea that they have a limited lifespan only to be played with as a lifeless corpse is particularly disturbing. Fans of the franchise are now left to grapple with the possibility that their beloved characters could meet such a grim fate, and next time you watch this movie, you're probably gonna wonder if one of these people are actually a corpse. In the hump of our list, we have mutants. Have you ever watched the first Toy Story movie and wondered about those creepy mutant toys that Sid created? You might have found comfort in the fact that they were just made up for the movie, but what if we told you that they may actually exist in real life? In the 1990s, the Unknown Museum in Marin, California held an exhibition that featured a range of odd and unusual toys. The Toy Story animators saw this exhibition and were inspired by what they saw, leading them to create their own versions of the mutant toys for the movie. That means that the designs for those creepy toys were based on real life toys. So somewhere out there, tucked away in a dark and dusty box, those mutant toys may really exist, waiting to be discovered. It's a creepy thought, but it's also a testament to the creativity of these Toy Story animators who were able to get inspiration from real life and turn it into a magical and unforgettable experience. Shout out to them. Number 4, Wheezy Is Evil. Watch Toy Story for a second time and keep an eye on Wheezy to see if there's any truth to this next theory. The theory goes that while we see Al from Al's Toy Barn as the main villain in Toy Story 2, it's actually Wheezy who's the mastermind behind everything. He's a toy who has been forgotten and left on a shelf, and he's bitter about it. While he sees Woody, who's still loved and played with, he decides to take matters into his own hands. Wheezy's plan is to get Woody out of the way so he can become Andy's favorite toy. He knows that Woody is the leader of the toys and that if he can get rid of him, the other toys will be easy to manipulate. So he orchestrates a plan to get Woody sold at a yard sale, where he can be snatched up by a toy collector and then taken way far away. That theory is supported by some of Wheezy's actions in the movie. For example, he is the one who tells Woody about the yard sale in the first place, and he seems almost too eager to get rid of him. He also doesn't seem too upset when Woody is taken away, which is strange for a toy who's supposed to be his friend. Of course, this theory is just speculation, and there's no concrete evidence to support it. It's possible that Wheezy is just a lovable character who got a raw deal in life, but it does add a very interesting layer to this story. All the way down in number 3 spot, we have Similar Faces. In 2017, The Mirror shared a story that pointed out a peculiar detail in the original Toy Story movie that some people may have missed. The children in the movie, including Andy and his friends, all have very similar faces. Have you noticed? Some viewers have even noticed that the children look almost identical to each other and to Andy's neighbor, Sid, who enjoys torturing toys. This has led to some interesting theories about what this could mean. Some people speculate that the similarity in the children's faces were simply a product of animation limitations at the time. While Pixar's animations have held up well over the years, they may have not been able to create as much variety in the humans' faces as they would have liked. However, others believe that there is something more significant going on. Some suggest that the humans in the movie are actually the toys, and that what we perceive as the toys are really living people. This theory could explain why the toys are able to move and talk, but it also raises other questions as well, so really, I don't know what to believe anymore. Number 2, Immortality. According to a theory circulating online, the reason why we keep getting Toy Story movies is that the toys can only die if they are crushed or burned. Otherwise, they continue to live out the same life cycle over and over again, forgetting their old owners and then starting anew with new children. It's a haunting idea, but it does make sense given the evidence presented in the films. For example, we know that Woody, Jesse, and Bullseye all originate from the 50s and could potentially be toys that were kept in mint condition, thus preserving their lifespan. And if you're a believer in the grand Pixar theory, you might be interested to know that Rex the dinosaur, who has been a beloved character in the Toy Story movies, also appears in the film WALL-E. But it's not just a toy dinosaur that's the same model as Rex in Toy Story. It's actually a Rex, who has lived through the years witnessing humanity's demise. This theory adds a completely different dread to a franchise that's meant to be enjoyed by kids and adults alike. It forces us to consider what it's truly like to live and to come to terms with our own mortality. But it's a testament to the depth and complexity of this story, and for all I know, it could be true. At number 1 spot, we have a Genocide. Before I mention this point, it's one of the darkest about the show, but it is a theory out there, so I just have to mention it. One of the darkest theories about Toy Story is a comparison made by John Hoffman of UGO between the toys and the Holocaust. Hoffman suggests that the toys being abandoned by Andy for college is similar to Jewish people being abandoned by countries as the Third Reich began to spread across Europe. Woody gathers the toys to form a plan, and they refuse to be abandoned and give up. Buzz Lightyear steps forward and suggests they hide in an attic, drawing parallels to many Jewish people who tried to hide from the Germans in the attics, like Anne Frank and her family. However, the darkest comparison is that being taken to Sunnyside Daycare is akin to a concentration camp, where they found themselves trapped among others in the same situation. While this comparison is truly disturbing and perhaps unnecessary, it exists online and continues to be talked about by those who are willing to delve into this dark theory. So if you want to know more, just search it up and read it yourself online before I get in too much trouble for telling too much. Well, these are your top 10 scary Toy Story theories that will terrify you. What did you guys think about this list? Leave a comment down below with your thoughts and leave some suggestions for our future videos. We would like to know. Be sure to click like, subscribe, and that bell notification. Hope you guys have a scary day.